Welcome to Sword Buddies.
Sword Buddies, hi.
This is the show where we talk about which swords we play with.
Yeah. Hope your week's been going well. Yeah.
Let's jump in.
How was class?
Class was pretty good, man. I like class. It helps. Is that weird?
It's just the way you said it. I like class. That's me.
That's me. I like class.
No, how was it?
It's kind of... So I've been jump roping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my legs are sore. But that kind of sore that's like, yes, bring me
Oh, there it goes.
the growth.
Yeah. It's in your quads mainly?
Actually, right now it's in my calves.
Good. Yes.
My upper calves right at the bend of my knee because my rope is accidentally a little short, but I'm usually in a slightly squatted position, so I've been jumping in that bend.
Yeah.
We used to do in movement class.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been jumping in that slightly squatted position. So I feel it mostly right up in here.
Yeah, and I imagine...
Sorry.
but I imagine like all the lunging you're doing in classes is helping shape them too.
So we actually do short lunges. That's something about my class that I'm still trying to work on in our form is for stage you see these nice long lunges with these extended arms like look how pretty I am.
Yes,
Look
show.
how long I can lunge. And it's not extremely martially helpful.
Yeah, it's not
Because
sound.
It's that much to bring yourself back out of.
As a resolute action, absolutely. But as something to quickly recover from, like you're talking about, no.
Also, I'm trained to keep my hand next to my face when I fence. And that when I lunge, my shoulder goes back and the elbow extends. So that it's actually pushing this shoulder forward so that the tip travels further, faster.
Mm-hmm. It's getting that point further in space
Yeah.
to extend from. Cool.
And when you gain the blade, you're supposed to do it with the shoulder and with a lean because it already takes that much space. So your lunge, where it would be extremely long,
Yeah.
is more like a short, sort of just a standard advanced step.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe twice that.
Do you
One and
have?
a half that? I don't know.
Do you have like any? And this is just. Do you have specific measurements for your?
Everyone's different. Everyone is different. I always try to make sure my knee is directly above my ankle when I land, just because that's the proper form. But it should not. My leg should not be anywhere near a 90-degree bend. The closer it is to a 90-degree bend, the harder it's going to be to bring myself back out of it for safety's sake.
Gotcha.
And this is a situation where I want to be able to do that extremely quickly because if, for some reason, my attack misses, they extremely quickly can just stab me in the face.
Gotcha.
So I have to be able to bring out of it.
Yeah, for my school, our distance, well, at least for our short and long, they're not lunges really, but just steps with the foot. It's all by person, but it's with one or two links of your foot. So if this is where my back foot is, I have to go 2 of those to reach my longest step.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's always supposed to be those 2 foot links of you, because it's all based on your measurement.
My step would destroy people.
Oh,
Iaido.
speaking of which, real quick, we worked on one of the ones we worked on in class today was a new form, and it's based on going through a gate into someone's property, which would always be measured at 1.8 meters. I don't know how good your conversion rate is, you American Justin.
Awful.
Yes.
But I'm
No,
going
no.
to guess 1.8 meters. 8 feet?
No, it's like oh wow, I'm gonna sound stupid now, but it's like right here. It's like right around 6 feet, I think.
Oh.
It's real.
Oh, right, because like 2 meters is supposed to be like 6'5".
Yeah, so one of the things about the waza is we can't finish our overhead cut until we finished stepping through the gate. And we have to do that twice. So we have to make sure that our timing is a bit further than it would be on other cuts. And our sensei had a Joe and held it over our heads, so we had to not cut it. And it is, because what are you going to do if your sword lodges into a gate? You're going to get stabbed and die.
You're going to get cut open, or you're going to try to run for your life.
Yeah.
And if it's stuck, you just let go, and the Nike defense. You just leave him in the dust.
Yeah, just get out of there.
Just get out of town.
But, yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I mentioned on stage, we extend that backhand.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible for recovering. And I tested it out in my practice outside.
Yeah.
Where I would try to recover with my hand out back versus with my arm bent. Because all of the weight is over my shoulder, all I have to do is think about leveraging the shoulder, and my whole body moves out of the lunge.
So that's a fun little...
So instead of having to draw in, because it's already up there, I can just, boom, recover, regain the line, and come right back in. It allows me to shorten the time it takes to do each tempo.
That's fun. You gotta get some videos of class more. I like seeing your videos from class.
I have some old stuff. Because like we got a lot of people, and we got a lot of good people now. Mm-hmm. It was weird today to take up a whole half of the place we're renting.
Yeah.
Of the fencing school.
Well, I'll tell you what. I follow all of y'all's school's social media, and Tim. I don't say his last name. Tim.
I think it's
Garino. He does a really good. I really appreciate his posts, because he always seems like he's coming from a layman's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's a place of passion.
He's a HEMA guy. He's an absolute dork. Like, he understands a lot of the weird references that I make.
Yeah.
I haven't made too many weird ones, but like the nerdy ones, he absolutely gets it. And his wife was a costumer somewhere and has studied like historical treaties for recreating historically accurate clothing.
Right, because we would see him at Renfest.
He is making an entire like puncture resistant fencing doublet and pants that he is going to wear in class.
Jesus.
Historically accurate armor and attire.
God bless this
to
man.
Fence this
God bless you, Tim.
Yeah, Tim is amazing.
Tim, shout out to Tim.
Also, I cannot remember I think he was in a band called Latchkey Kids. He was in a band called Latchkey Kids. And he was the screamer for this punk band.
Oh my god!
Called Latchkey Kids.
We got it. We got to get a CD then.
He opened for like the first or second Warped Tour. Not opened, but like he was one of the openers for like who was it? It was a pretty big band. I cannot remember. I'll ask him.
Please.
On Monday.
Oh man, that's cool.
Tim's great. Tim's fantastic.
Cool. Anything really specific you learned in class?
Tonight's action was hard. It was, again, about counter tempos, but it was very particular for against an active fencer. Like someone who wants to attack a lot.
Okay.
Like sport fencing. Think about sport fencing, how you always see the blade just moving and you see it like zipping back and forth. Mm-hmm. They're doing a lot of attacks and a lot of parrying and riposting. For someone who fences like that, if you read that tempo, that's what this action was for. And so there was like 6 different variations to do, and I ended up getting lost in like the 3 or 4 that we got shown before we even got to go off and start working on it.
Were there any like 1 or 2 that you're able to get a really good handle on? Or they'll just kind of slip through the cracks?
So the one I was able to get a handle on is... Because basically it's an invite. So if my guard is lined up and I gain them on the inside, I rotate my wrist to a 2, and and sort of drop it a little bit, and this will encourage them to try and attack my high line, my face up here. So when they do that, I just rotate my wrist into this 4th position, which parries it, and then I can counterattack if they do nothing, or if I can find their tempo to do it extremely quickly.
Yeah, that's gotta be a tight.
One of the variations is if someone has a tight defense and they parry as I counterattack, is to continue my step in a circular motion, because if I continue with my hand in this position, as I step round, it just pushes it into their stomach through their parry.
We'll have to do that later so I can get a better visual on that, because I have a hard time.
It was really tricky, and I barely got a handle on it tonight, but when I got it, it paid off. And I got it because I was doing all the jump ropes.
Good.
Yeah, it's paying off.
Good. Jump rope is amazing. I recommend it to everyone. Everyone do a ton of jump rope all the time. It's phenomenal.
It's good for you.
It doesn't take up a lot of space.
Stamina. Builds your leg muscles.
Yeah. Just make sure you're stretching. Just make sure you're stretching, because your calves they'll cramp up.
And your hips.
Oh, God. But the really best thing for jump rope that I found is you just got to find the right music.
That's true.
You got to find the right tempo for you.
Yeah, because then you get in a groove and you just tune out for a second. You forget about the world, anything that bothers you, and you're able to just bounce in that rhythm, and it's kind of great. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about your class tonight. Anything special?
Man, it's just... I really hope we can start having class at 8:15 again instead of 8:45, because I wake up at around 5:30 every day now, and I start to crash now, and it's hard to try to eat and then stay awake.
I'm crashing, and I'm waking up at 6:30.
Yeah, and it's 8:45 to about 10:15, 10:30. I was taking naps and minute naps until I had to go because I was tired, man. But I got there. I was happy I got there. We worked on new advanced standing forms and advanced sitting forms that I haven't done before, which was really nice. But I wish I would have been more mentally awake for the challenge, because they were fun.
I think that's probably why I didn't get the action tonight. I was tired.
Yeah, man. I think I gotta start scheduling out a nap now when I get home. You laugh. I think I need to.
No, I laugh because I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Is that I need that in the middle of the day, because I'm doing a lot more now than I used to be.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I'm supposed to be doing less, but I'm doing a lot more.
And I want to do even more.
That's fair. I'm getting stir crazy.
But it's also I'm coming up with things, and this is outside the point of the martial arts sword buddies kind of thing, but there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many things that I want to work on, so many projects I want to do.
I mean, these are the martial arts I want to learn.
Oh, me too. Oh my God, dude, if I got the chance to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I would be so stoked, because I would go do that in the morning, go to work, and then I'd go do EI at night.
My friend Pierce has been sending me Muay Thai videos, and these people training in Thailand in Muay Thai, this same gym that he's looking at going.
God.
And he moved through his belts. I don't know how quickly, but I respect Pierce.
Yeah.
For a certain reason, and it is because he would absolutely kick my ass. Also because he's a wonderful human being. Primarily because he's a wonderful human being.
I hope I get to meet him in person.
You will. I'm gonna make it happen.
I hope so.
You know what? He's a swordsman. I'm gonna bring him.
We need to bring him on Sword Buddies.
He will be on this podcast before end of next year.
Hey.
Because that's a promise I can keep.
Pierce, if you're listening, you're coming on this podcast. You're not getting a choice.
Well, I'll give you the choice, but
we just show up at his house. We show up at his house with swords. You're on this podcast.
Dude, do not. He will be ready with swords. This is the this is the kind of.
I feel like he'd come in here and he'd be like, good, because he'd see all of the different
be like, nice
stage combat weapons we have.
Yes.
All over the place. Oh man.
So.
Oh,
the final question of the night. Unless there's anything you want to say.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. I'm trying to remember something specific about... Oh, that book I was talking about last time.
Last week.
I don't know if I had said it last week, but there was a point in there that it's a sentiment that you see in a lot of samurai culture, that it's about, like, in that book, one of the senseis was asked, why don't we use shinai? Why don't we use the bamboo sticks? They use it for kendo, and they're supposed to be, semi-realistic with the pace of combat, right? Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we use those, real quick, why wouldn't we? And he answered, because it's not appropriate to strike a lord with a stick. Which is it's a very samurai mentality. It's a very, and I brought it up to my sensei, and she said, that's a very, it's a daimyo. That's like a very high class. Ooh, is that getting close to you?
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah, I gotcha. But it was it was a very high class kind of mentality, because, the nobles would have to learn it too. They'd be taught in private alone, but they with a sensei, but they had to learn as well. It was just a interesting sentiment, because the same thing with like we do for Iaido, we have a knot in the back with our obi. If you do Aikido, you have a flat obi. Now, this is so you can lay on it, so you can take the fall easier. It's not easy to do a fall with this giant knot in the middle of my back. But Iaido, you had to be a samurai to learn it, so that's by default a high-class art. That kind of sentiment, though, you see throughout a lot of really samurai... What's the word I'm thinking of?
Philosophy?
Enriched, steeped. It's just that mentality, that kind of honor-based system, that Bushido practice, or that wanting to achieve it or be a kind of divine through practice. Oh, another thing we've talked about was why we don't... Sorry, I jumped over that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, what was that?
That wasn't a full thought. I apologize.
Bushido?
Yeah, Bushido. It's the samurai... You can't call it like the chivalric code with the knights, because it's not comparable. It's the only... It's like a honor-based... It's not, though. For now.
Our final question.
Yes, final question.
Well, I guess you already answered it.
What was it?
It was what martial art do you want to take on next?
Ooh.
Or in addition?
I would say my answer would still be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I would like a hand-to-hand. I'd like a real solid hand-to-hand martial art, and I feel like from everything I've looked into, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu would probably be the thing I would want to do. Now, I would need to be okay with getting cuts and bruises and bashes on my face.
And thrown to the ground a lot.
Like that I could be, but with being on an agency and everything, there's no real way to try to do that without, I mean, just suck it up and do it. And so I still want to. Oh, I want to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What about you?
See, my brain keeps saying Muay Thai, and I think it's just because someone has put so much of that into my sphere recently. But, I want to learn how to kick people properly. I mean, like, kick people. I learn how to use my legs, stretch out my hips. That'd be Taekwondo?
Yeah, be Taekwondo. That'd be. Ooh, if you want to get funky with it, Savate.
Savate?
Yeah, the French foot fighting.
Oh, dude, I'd be. What?
The French. It's a martial art of. It's a French foot fighting. There's one of the James Bond movies, recent ones with Daniel Craig used it, but essentially it's like. There's a book on it at U of H that I scanned that, I had the whole thing in my Google Drive. Not the whole thing, but bits of it. But basically, it like breaks down the 6 parts of the foot with what and how to strike them. Yeah, it goes in depth because it's like, okay, what if you're sitting next to them on a bench? Here's how to strike their foot and immobilize them. What if it's really cool. Because it's also, it does with like, I don't want to call them like trick twist kicks, but there was one technique that I saw where it was like a snap here and then came around and flicked up and smacked someone on the other side of the face. It's crazy what some of those guys can do.
Savate?
Savate's
the route I need to go.
Good luck finding a teacher.
Well, we'll worry about that later. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll meet a random French hobo who's stuck here in America.
You know, what are the odds, man?
I
guarantee you, there's somewhere around here.
1 in 30.
There's some wild people out there. Hey, if you're a Savate teacher in Houston, hit us up. Hit us up.
Hit me up.
You know?
I want to learn how to attack people's feet. That sounds wonderfully ideal for me. I'm like, you want to attack me?
You want to attack?
Boom.
Bam.
Come get me!
Just, yeah? Bam! Now do something.
Like, I can't walk. Exactly.
Oh, good God.
That's the dream.
Let's look into that. But, thank you for joining us. See you next week
On
Sword Buddies.